Welcome to Twin Chefs Videos. If you want to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, we're going to start making the traditional Irish soda bread. And first of all, the first thing we need to do is take buttermilk, 1 3/4 cup. Now, I don't keep buttermilk on hand because I don't bake with it much and we sure don't drink it. But the substitute for buttermilk is put a tablespoon of vinegar per cup into regular milk and stir it and let it sit a little while, and it has been sitting. So we're going to pour that in a bowl by itself, and we're going to break an egg, put it in there, and then whisk that egg and buttermilk real good. And then let it sit there a little while you mix these dry ingredients. Now the dry ingredients is 4 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and you always want to make sure your baking soda is not out of date, because if it's out of date, it's not going to work as well. And then 3 tablespoons of sugar, granulated sugar. And you want to whisk that all together real good. As I said, this is a traditional Irish bread called soda bread. You don't have to use any yeast or anything like that. Just the soda. Next thing you do is you'll need, this stuff is sticking to my fingers, 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, cubed. See, I had them in little cubes. Put that in there. I've already cubed it. And if you get the stick butter, there's usually markings on there, tells you how much is a tablespoon. You know, mark off 5, and then cube it and put it in there. You can take a fork and start smashing the butter up in the flour mixture, or you can use your fingers. I put some gloves on and I found that's the best way to do it. Just keep mashing the butter up into the flour mixture until it looks almost like cornmeal, about pea-sized cornmeal. Just keep on working it until it looks like that. You're blending the butter in all of the dry ingredients. Now this, many times a cup of raisins is added to the bread, and it makes it real good, but I don't really like the raisins unless you're using it as a sweet bread. It's kind of got a little bit of a sweet taste anyway, but it looks nice with the raisins in there. But I'm not going to put a cup of raisins in this bread. We're getting there, but it's still not grainy enough looking. Once we get that all mashed together real good, we'll add this egg and milk to it. We have the oven preheating at 400, and we'll bake this about 40 to 45 minutes. And normally it's not covered when it's baking, but it makes a real crispy crust, and because of that I like to cover it about halfway through to keep the top from crusting so much, and cover it loosely with foil, and then take it off the remaining half of the time, and that should make your crust less crusty. Plus, it's kind of a dry looking crust, so I like to put an egg wash on it before I put it in the oven. That kind of makes it look more shiny, the crust more shiny. I think we got it kind of looking like corn flour now. So we're going to add the milk, buttermilk, homemade buttermilk to it. And we're going to start stirring it. Now it'll start getting thick real quick, but you need to mix it all together until you can no longer mix it, till it gets so stiff that you can't mix it anymore. You can bake this in an iron skillet. Now the iron skillet will cause the crust to be harder. You can get a baking dish or baking pan and line it with parchment paper. I've already got this one lined with parchment paper. You just keep stirring until you can hardly stir it anymore, and it's getting there. It's getting tougher and tougher by the minute. Just about there. You want to put some flour down. Scoop this cutting board over a little in the middle. Now we want to put all of this out on the floured surface. It's a heavy, kind of I call a heavy bread. It's not really light. But this goes way back in the ancient times of Ireland. Now, you want to just kind of fold it over and keep folding it over until you can work it. Just like anytime you're making bread and you're kneading it. Be sure you got a good ball started there. Then start kneading it for about 30 seconds. It's doing pretty good. I think we're just about at 30 seconds. This should be good, real good when it's sliced thin and you got your corned beef. Make corned beef sandwiches out of it. Okay, I think we've got it pretty good. You want to take it, put it in your baking dish. Just kind of pat it down a little bit. Now, as I said, I like to put an egg wash on it, but before you do that, you need to score it. That helps. I'm going to score it with my pizza cutter. That helps it get down in the center and cook better. Just barely score it. That means don't cut too deep. Just enough to give it a little crease in there. I'll show you in a minute what it's like. Okay, I've got it scored like that. Now we'll put an egg wash on it. If I break the egg first. And we'll just put a little egg wash on it to help give it a shiny consistency. The bread itself, you can check it with a thermometer. And it should be at 195 when it's completely done. Okay, I'm going to put it in the oven and we're going to check it in about 40 minutes. In the meantime, I'll clean up this mess and I'll get back to you when it's done. Okay, I'm back. And our soda bread is done. I took it out of the oven. Actually, I baked it like 45 minutes. And as I said, I covered it loosely with aluminum foil halfway through baking. And it turned out beautiful. Now, when you first take it out of the oven, you need to put it on a cooling rack and let it cool for about 14-15 minutes before you cut it. And then cut it with a sharp knife. And it looks so good. And as I said, many times they put raisins in it, but I didn't put raisins in this. It cut very well, and we'll find out at dinner time if it tastes as good as it looks. Thank you.